Well, greetings everyone and welcome to the course. This is Jaren Orwig with Project Dragonfly. I'll be working with your instructor this semester in hopes that you will have a meaningful experience during your time in this Leadership in Science and Inquiry course. Now, throughout this course, you'll be doing a little less reading than you're probably used to doing in these web-based classes, but spending a lot more time and effort into things like peer feedback, networking in your community, and forging ahead with big project milestones for the leadership challenge that you'll be focusing on, and more on that in a minute. We're going to delve into the realm of leadership in various ways, and I hope you are ready and willing to step out of that comfort zone and taking some risk and growing in your work as a leader. Before I sign off, let's take a quick look at what you can expect this semester. So let's take a quick look at the different course themes here for a second. Obviously, the first and major component of this course will be revolving around leadership. Really, what does it look like? We've all had that really great leader in our lives, and we've also seen some pretty bad examples of leading as well. So there are various styles, forms of leading. So we'll be learning a little bit about that from various authors, discussions, and videos. Then we'll also be asking you to reflect on your own personal leadership style and almost even developing a philosophy, a personal statement on what you think your current leadership style is like and where you think you could go in the future. And as a last component to that, we'll be entering inquiry into that equation. How does leadership play out when you are trying to do inquiry? And how does inquiry facilitate leadership? Second pillar of this course will be really focusing on networking and collaboration. We'll be encouraging you to reach out beyond your normal circle of contacts and really pushing yourself to make even further professional contacts out there in order to further your not only your leadership challenge, but even your master plan and other personal and professional goals that you have for yourself. And then we'll be encouraging collaboration. A lot of peer feedback, again, will be used in this course. So we really want you to be each other's refining fire as you discuss, prepare your projects, and prepare your papers. And last but not least, community action and positive change. With mostly any project that we've asked you to do in Dragonfly thus far, is we've really wanted you to focus on a community engagement factor that stems action. Leadership will always, or most often, will lead to some sort of action and positive change. So what does that look like for you? What does that look like in your leadership challenge and other projects that you undertake in this course? Now, you've heard me mention this thing called a leadership challenge. A leadership challenge is a project that you will undertake required for graduation. We want this to be self-created project, deliberate. We don't want this to be something that you just fell into by happenstance, but something that you really sought out in order to grow your leadership skills. We want this to be different than a previous project that you've done within the program. It may be an extension of something that came out of a previous CEL or another project that you were doing, but again, we don't want it to be double dipping, so to speak, with the same thing. We want this, going back to one of the course themes, engaging a community, really bettering it through the leadership that you will provide. And we want this to be a greater challenge than your normal work. We want this to take you outside of your normal job tasks. So if you're always leading workshops and presentations, let's try something new. Try something that you're not used to doing. Again, we want you to stretch your leadership skills. The more you push yourself, the more that you're going to get out of this course. There is listed a few different examples, and you'll spend a lot more time within your course really delving into ideas, options, working with your peers and instructor to really figure out what direction a good direction for your leadership challenge would be. And you'll see at the bottom there is a paper that will be due at the end of the semester. And you'll be going through many different stages, milestones in order to get to that point. You'll be doing plenty of brainstorming with your fellow colleagues. You'll be writing up a proposal. We'll be asking you to, again, think of a network of change. So those people that you can reach out to in order to help with your leadership challenge. Be asking you to reflect on your leadership philosophy. What's your style and where do you want to go from here? You'll be submitting a draft, again, with a lot of peer feedback and help, and also a final submission here with the course. And one more thing, in addition to submitting it to the course, once you are completely done with your leadership challenge, you will also upload and submit that paper to your cohort as well, because again, this LC is required for graduation, so we want to make sure your advisors and cohort see this evidence as well. So leadership challenge should be a lot of work, but should be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what kind of growth comes from it. Lastly, a few tips for success for you before you jump into this LSI class. For your leadership challenge, for instance, we want you to really choose a project that inspires you. You'll be spending an entire semester working on this project and paper. So obviously, the more passionate you are about it, the more fun it will be for you to work on it. Now, or also brainstorm early, be thinking about avenues, potential avenues that you could go with your leadership challenge, and even begin networking for your project now, reaching out to possible contacts and starting to look around to see who can help you. Staying on task is really important. It may seem like you have a whole semester ahead, but it'll come quickly. So keep that momentum going, be ready for those due dates. And again, the people that you may be working with alongside for your leadership challenge, you have your line for the class and for the project, but they probably have their own timelines as well. So staying on task will really help make everyone a success. We'll be participating a lot in peer feedback review sessions, so please engage and participate with one another as much as possible. I mentioned earlier being that refining fire, being that cheerleader support, but also that critique. That you would wish to get on your own papers to make sure that you're doing the best you can. And last but not least, be creative. Take a risk. You're only going to get out of this class what you put into it. And this especially is a class that you can really grow personally and professionally. But you have to be the one that really pushes yourself. We will try as much as we can, but it's really, at the end of the day, all up to you. So have a wonderful semester, enjoy, and I can't wait to see what wonderful things come out of this class.